What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Fernandezzo. Just taking a quick video of my KLR here, and I kind of wanted to share with you what kind of riding I was doing, and just trying to give you guys kind of a ethos on the bike, and trying to figure out, exactly if you're looking into this bike or getting into the off-road game, what you should be looking for and why I picked this bike in particular. The real reason I picked this bike is obviously because it's a dual sport, right? Everyone goes in there thinking they need, a GS 1250 or something like that, and they want to do off-road stuff, and they want to travel and camp out there and do some adventure riding, and everyone goes top dollar. I feel like they're always looking at the GS line or something similar, a lot more expensive. And I was really just trying to get into the game and trying to figure out, if this was something that I wanted to get into, and it's been perfect for it so far. I've really enjoyed everything about this bike. Mostly just its simplicity. That's really why I went with this bike over anything else. It's a single cylinder thumper that's been fuel injected for 2022, I believe, and up, and it's been pretty reliable for me. I've only put like 800 miles on this thing, but just did the oil change and put in the crash bars and put the low profile drain plug just to make sure everything's good. If I hit like a big log or something, and I did actually run into an issue right over there while I was kind of giving it a test run, where I did get hung up on a log, and I didn't have the steel plate on it, and it kind of I was really worried it was gonna break that oil plug off, or the oil drain plug off. So luckily went ahead and fixed that. So I put these crash bars on. These are the T-Rex crash bars, and they fit with the lowers for that came stock right here. And I did put in this full-length skid plate, so that's been done, and just really enjoying the way this bike handles. It's a big dual sport, but it's like perfect for the highway. I mean, if I had 6th gear, this would be perfect, but for whatever reason, I think just the cost of it, it's just perfect price point and everything, and I really enjoy it for what it is. So the basic purpose of this bike was to do some off-roading and camping. I wanted to get out there kind of further away from the roads and civilization, and try to do some adventure riding, actual adventure riding out in West Virginia and in Kentucky and all that stuff. And just like Red River Gorge is one of the places I go to. So I wanted a bike that I could take out there, and if I did like seriously damage it, I didn't want it to be an issue. So this bike I got in the dead of winter for about $8 grand out the door, just completely with all this stuff on it. I mean, except for the crash bars and metal skid plate and all that stuff, but everything you see as far as saddlebags and everything on here. I did put the my Z900 mirrors on there, but besides that, everything here is pretty much stock, and it's really the perfect setup for a cheap adventure bike that if you wreck it real bad, it's not gonna hurt you like a GS would. That's why I think this bike is actually the perfect bike for most anything. You could really get into it, and if you wreck it or you dump it in a creek, 9 times out of 10 it's going to start back up as soon as you get it out of there. These engines, they do have minor issues, I think, with like the doohickey, which may or may not be an issue, and that's really the only thing. Honestly, I think if you put good oil in it and you probably change that doohickey out moderately, kind of, you don't like put that torsion spring in too deep or too far out of whack, I think That's really the only thing, and this thing will be bulletproof. I think there's a lot of people out there that have like really high mileage KLRs, and I'm really excited to have a KLR that, you know, I could just beat around. I like everything on it. The saddlebags people complain about, they might work. I'd take them off if I was doing some like single track riding or whatever, but you know, these saddlebags they just fit the bike so well. I mean, it's a really interesting bike. It's amazing price point. I mean, it handles pretty good. You know, I'm a sport bike rider, and I handle and I whip this thing around pretty good. I do have this Delcovic exhaust I put on, and that's really the only thing that I've done to it. It sounds mean. It pops a little bit here and there, but it's really like a really cool bike, and I think for the price point, you really can't beat it. If you want a bike that you could take on the trails and in the middle of nowhere, you know, this could be your best option. The only downside of this bike is it's heavy. You know, with the crash bars and all that stuff, it added extra weight to it. But, you know, it's a real toss-up, you know, as far as if you want it to handle well on the highway versus do you want to just beat the piss out of it in the woods. I think this can do both, and that's really where this thing shines. And with all the crash bars and stuff, I don't really care if I drop it or not. I mean, I've dropped it already. Nothing's been scuffed up or anything. So very cool bike. Probably the best. I know people say this all the time, but this is probably the best value there is if you want a trail bike. I mean, there's nothing better. It could take all your stuff. I plan to, you know, if I'm going out there, I usually put on just my backpack, my usual backpack on the back of that thing. So if this bike breaks down, I could at least have my backpack and my tent and my food and everything in there. And everything that goes in the saddlebags is just basic bike maintenance stuff, and some nice to haves like chairs and mattresses. But I mean, this is it, guys. If you want a good bike that you could pretty much take anywhere, not worry about dropping it or breaking it or busting it. You know, the parts are available. Like they're just on eBay everywhere. Used parts, new parts. I mean, parts galore, you know what I'm saying? It's a pretty cool looking bike. I think for 2022 and up, I think they really, you know, it has like the Z900 headlights and stuff, and kind of the Z400 line, and I think it just looks really cool, you know, especially with the fog lights and all that stuff. And I've, you know, scraped the shit out of the bags and all that stuff, but you know, it's a really good looking bike, and it's you know, it's kind of weird from different angles. Like this angle is probably the best angle, and then if you go over here, it kind of looks all frumpy. You know, it's kind of like the weirdest angle. But goddamn, this thing can go anywhere, really. And it's a great bike. It's super cheap for what it is, and you get a whole lot for it. So it's a very capable bike. This could be your daily driver or rider, or anything that you really want, you know, as far as taking it off the trails. I mean, this is the one that I got, and it's absolutely perfect for just taking it anywhere. So, all right, hope you guys enjoyed the video. All right, I'm signing off. Take it easy. Bye.